Jr. from Here For You Life Coaching. And today we're going to talk about how you get to the point where you get to live your dreams. Okay, how you commit to your dreams. How you can have, do, or be anything you want. Good morning, Jake. So you're a co-creator with God, or with Source, or with the universe, or with whatever you believe, higher self, infinite intelligence, all of those things. Okay, but you are a co-creator with that. Now, how does that work? It works through your subconscious. There is only the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious. That's what manifestation is. Okay, so you see how history is repeating itself? You can see history repeat itself all the time, right? Because it's in consciousness. Okay, now the three states of awareness, conscious, subconscious, superconscious, okay, are constructed in here. They all belong in here. Okay, they all exist in here, not out there, in here. You project your life forward. Okay, so your life comes from within. Krishna, Jesus Christ, Gautama Buddha all told you that the kingdom is within. So how do we make this work for us? How do we fine-tune this thing and make it work for us? Well, first, let me tell you how manifestation works in the masses, with the masses. Okay, so like when there's a movie out, everybody sees the movie, like it's a popular movie, it makes millions and millions of dollars, right? And then pretty soon you start seeing things from the movie happen in real life. That's because it has gone into consciousness. That's because we have so many people that see the movie that pretty soon it becomes manifested in the physical. How does that work though? Well, let's take it to a smaller level, because Einstein said if you cannot explain something simply, you don't understand it. So let's knock it all the way down. Let's take an individual, for example. You can speak something into existence. If you keep speaking something, you'll keep thinking it. If you keep thinking it, thoughts become things. When thoughts become things, it's because a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Now that you keep thinking this thought, you believe this thought, guess what? The subconscious will show you, along with your reticular activating system, the subconscious will show you proof. So, let's say you want to manifest a car. The subconscious will go, okay, there's a car over there. There's a car over there. Your reticular activating system will filter out what you're not focused on. So now you're only focused on the car that you want. And now you start seeing those cars everywhere. Oh, there's a blue convertible over there. Well, that's what I'm interested in. Oh, there's another blue convertible over there. Oh, that's what I was interested in. And your subconscious confirms these things. They go, here, look, there's one here, one here, one here. And your reticular activating system works to block everything else out so that these things stick out. And now what happens? Now the universe, okay, God, however you believe, starts serving these things up for you. And it starts serving them to you. And then what happens? Well, then you choose. And there you go. That's the manifestation process. But when you apply all four pillars, okay, so they're affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. When you apply all four to something, it cannot not happen. Now, let's go to a larger level. What happens when a group of people think the same thought? Okay, when an individual thinks the same thought, that happens. What about a group of people? What about when you show a movie to millions of people? It starts to manifest. Why? Because you're showing it to millions of spiritual beings. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. If you want to call that a spirit, you want to call it a soul, you want to call it energy, it's all of that. But now what happens when you get a group of people? Well, I can tell you that in Seattle, they had an experiment. A group of monks got together and they meditated, and they brought the crime rate down in the city just by meditating. A group of them. So what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that we have a spiritual effect on people, an electromagnetic effect on people, if you want to say it that way, an energetic effect on people, if you want to say it that way. So when you feed things out to the masses, guess what happens? The masses start thinking about it. Then what happens? Then slowly it begins to manifest into consciousness. Why? Because it goes up into consciousness. And now it's a part of consciousness. So it doesn't matter if it's in your small little town, or if it's in your country, or if it's in the world. These things are manifesting. So at a smaller level, at your level, can you manifest things like within your town or within your country or within, let's say, the physical matrix? Because the physical matrix has people convinced that they are bound. And the physical matrix will bind you if you do not raise your awareness. Because then this is all that you will think that you have. And there are entities that want you to think that way. Because if these entities, allowed you to know or promoted the fact to you that you're an unlimited being, that you can manifest anything, that there is only the conscious, the subconscious, and superconscious, why would you need them? You wouldn't need them. The truth will set you free. But if you don't know the truth, if you're unaware of the truth, or if you refuse to see the truth, what happens? You are bound to that physical matrix. That's just the way it works. So when you find your voice through the vocalization process, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, when you find your voice through the vocalization process, it begins to open you. That's a metaphor, but you begin to open. Your awareness begins to raise. Then what happens? Well, your voice stimulates the vagus nerve, one of the 12 cranial nerves. It goes from the cranium right down into your heart. So first, your throat chakra opens. Second, your heart chakra opens. What happens then? Well, the veil begins to lift, and you start to see. It's the physical matrix that's blinding you. The physical matrix will blind you. Why? Because it will distract you into its perspective. It will distract you into it, and it will hold you into it. And that's the opposition. Why is it the opposition? Because it works against you. It works against you. If you can have the mouse going on the mouse wheel, right? That mouse will go on the mouse wheel until it's too tired and it stops one day, right? But if you can have that mouse just keep going on the mouse wheel, keep the mouse distracted, right? It'll just keep going on the mouse wheel endlessly. And what do we do as humans? Well, on New Year's, we have a New Year's celebration. Then in February, it's Valentine's Day. Then whenever everybody wears green for St. Patrick's Day, do you see the program? Do you see the programming? When you disconnect, or let's say it another way, when you surrender the matrix, what happens? What does surrender mean? It means to give it up. when you give up the matrix and surrender. Now, you're no longer resisting the matrix. You're no longer fighting with the matrix. Whatever you resist persists. So the solution is not to fight the matrix. The solution is to be aware of the matrix and work within the matrix and achieve everything you want and have everything you want and be aware that there is a process. Rhonda Byrne calls it the secret, but that's her brand. It's her brand of subconscious training. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he does guided meditations, and that's what he does. That's his avenue to the same place, because there is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So when you hear people talking about these things, it's in all the holy books. Next time you read your Bible, think conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. When you get groups of people believing, because whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way you're a believer. If you're believing in something up there or something out there, just understand that God is in here, the kingdom is in here, the magic is in here. If you want to see the miracle, go in the bathroom, turn on the light, and look in the mirror. There's the mirror. There's the miracle. There's the blessing. There's the gift. There's the power. It's in here. It's in every one of us. There's not one person that does not have this capability. Not one. It's not like, well, so-and-so, he makes a lot of money. He can manifest really good. No. No. Distraction is the devil. The physical matrix is the distraction. That's the mouse wheel. That's what has you on the mouse wheel. That's the distraction. The matrix will bind you into distraction. Distraction from what? Distraction from your purpose. Distraction from your life path. And what happens? Well, you keep going on the mouse wheel. It's the system. It's the matrix, the physical matrix. So how do you get past this? How do you work around it or work within it? Christians say that you can be in the world, but not of the world. You can be in the system and not of the system. You can work within the system and not be of the system. The reason why it binds you is because it presents you with a different reality. Out of 8 billion people, 8 billion, no two are the same. No two are the same. 8 billion. 8 billion original spirits. But that's what we have in common. That's what makes us all one. And everyone has the same ability. So what do? Well, you can write things into existence. You can think things into existence. You can speak things into existence. In the Holy Bible, the world was spoken into existence. The Word was first. So you just say, like, give me a new car, and you go out in the driveway and there's the new car? No. Not that easy. Does it take a little persistence? Yeah, a little bit. Does it take repetition? Yep. The subconscious learns in repetition. It's all over the Bible. Ask, believe, receive. When you ask, your subconscious is obligated to answer. Your subconscious works with the superconscious, but it's all in here. When you pray, when you ask, the second step is believing. So when you ask, you have to believe in whatever it is that you want. If you're a Christian, go look at Mark 11, 11:24, something like that. I'm not those guys that throw Bible quotes at you. So yeah, it's in Luke, it's in Matthew, it's all over the Bible. It's in the Bhagavad Gita, it's in the Torah, it's in the Quran, it's in every holy book. Krishna said it, Gautama Buddha said it, Jesus Christ said it. The kingdom is in here. It's all within, and it unfolds for you. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you, based upon that imaginary tree that we always talk about. Okay, the roots of the tree are your subconscious core beliefs. Your paradigm is the trunk of the tree. The fruits of the tree are your actions that produce results. Can you do random results and just have a brand new result? Yeah, sure. You have the power to do that. Is it going to last? Is it going to be temporary or permanent? It's going to be temporary until you fix the roots. So grab your pen. I am so happy and grateful now that, what? I am confident. Now that I have $100 extra this month. Thank you. Speak it out loud at night. That's part of the vocalization process. The other part of the vocalization process is expressing tones with velocity. Nikola Tesla said to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We add velocity to that, and guess what happens? It happens faster. Velocity is pushing the vibrations faster. What happens when that happens? You can read the tab. It's called The Science of Confidence. It's very scientific. It involves hormones, oxytocin, endorphins. And when this reaction occurs, that's prompted by your voice, in addition to the vagus nerve going into your heart, what happens? Well, first you calm in here. The prison is here. The prison is not out there. The prison is in here. Where's the magic? The magic is in here. How do you apply the magic? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. What's the visualization aspects of it? Well, first you have to see yourself worthy. More importantly, after you start seeing yourself as worthy, which is like, okay, yeah, I deserve that. Yeah, I can do that. Then you have to see yourself there. What is there? Write it down. What is your goal? Well, my goal is to have a brand new house. Okay. What kind of house? If you just write down a brand new house, God might give you a mini home. It might be too small. Be specific. Write it out. Write about your dream home. What it's going to look like. How big is it going to be? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? How many cars can fit in the garage? Write it down. Now, you may not get exactly what you write down, but it'll probably be better if you do it than if you didn't do it. Okay, so I've prayed for, I've tested prayer for many, many years. I've tested affirmations for many, many years. Let me show you. So this is the last one that I got through with. Okay, these are affirmations. Okay, this is not journaling. There's a difference. When you journal, you're journaling about your day. When you journal, you're journaling about something that happened. If you're in a business and you're journaling about accomplishments in the business, that's good. If you're journaling and you're talking about some drama that happened, you're bringing that drama into now. And you're making it fresh in the subconscious. Costas, good morning. Now, what happens when you make it fresh in the subconscious? It turns into a belief. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. And if you keep thinking the thought, guess what? Now you have a new belief. That belief helps to shape your paradigm, the trunk of the tree. It helps to shape your paradigm. What will your paradigm do? It will affect how you see the world. And what does that do? That dictates how you will act. And those actions, okay, the fruits of the tree, you will know them by their fruits, will turn into results. The law of correspondence, the universal law of correspondence says whatever's out here in your life is a reflection of what's in here. Whatever you have surrounding you, your friends, your car, your home, your children, your possessions, whatever it is, your desk at work, whatever you have is a reflection of how you are in here. So how's your desk? Is it busy? Is it messy? Is it really organized? One of my clients, I meet with him once in a while at his office. He's a CEO. I walk into his office. It's immaculate. Everything is in its place. So I know I'm dealing with an organized person. You ever get in somebody's car, they give you a ride home, things are all over their car, scattered all in their car? They're scattered in here. Thank you. They're scattered in here. That's why it's scattered out here. What kind of things do they have? Do they have nice things out here? Oh, it's because they have nice things in here. It's because they're thinking of nice things. So the nice things show up. Most people think about what they don't want. Most people think, right? Like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. Right now, a lot of people are hoping, thinking, right, that something doesn't happen in the Middle East. Groups of people can manifest things. It depends on what you're thinking collectively. Collectively. And this is why this shapes consciousness. Why? Because what you see here goes into your subconscious. Everything you see here goes into your subconscious. You cannot unsee something. It goes into your subconscious. But it also feeds you. The algorithm feeds you what it is you enjoy. You know, for a long time when I was making the change back in the day, and I was, doing my affirmations, meditation, all this stuff, and I was just learning. I went on Instagram, on my Instagram account, and I followed the luxury account so that I only saw nice things. I didn't see drama. I only saw nice homes and nice cars and nice people and nice whatever. Everything was nice. My whole vibe changed. When you see things that make you excited, okay, just know it starts with worry, Okay, so the negative emotions start with worry, irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, hate, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame, and fear. Fear is at the bottom. Are you fearing? When you think a thought that brings fear, just know it's temporary. It's just a thought. But the thought brings the emotion. You cannot have an emotion without the thought first. It's the thought that brings the emotion, so change your thoughts. Why worry about something you have no control over? If it happens, it's going to happen. When it happens, you make a decision. I'm talking about anything. Thank you. Thank you. Make a decision. You have to decide to do something. You have to decide, okay, today I'm going to make my life better. Today I'm going to start to organize. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Today I'm going to start organizing. I'm going to organize this one. Because when you organize this one, you organize everything. It's universal law. It has to happen. But it takes a little time, right? I don't like to use the term self-discipline because it sounds like a dirty word. Discipline, right? Nobody likes discipline. So let's use the word consistency. If you write your affirmation every day, if you do 10 minutes of stillness every day, okay, if you do vocalization every day, if you do visualization every day, how many minutes are we talking about? Less than 15 minutes. With my method, less than 15 minutes. It does wonders for my professionals. It works wonders for them. Memory is your subconscious, Costas. It has to be in your decision. It's the core of your decisions. Most people will not take the time to do what I showed you, to do the affirmations. When you want something, write it down. When you want something, ask. Ask, believe, receive. It sounds like it's too good to be true, right? If it sounds too good to be true, you are too anchored in the physical matrix. If you think that money is the only way you can get something, you are too anchored into the physical matrix. You need to surrender. Not to the physical matrix. You need to surrender your bond to the physical matrix. Your understanding. What kind of understanding do you have? What do you stand under? What do you believe? So when you change the beliefs, you change the paradigm. When you change the paradigm, you change the actions, the fruits of the tree. Then you have new results. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Expecting something better. Expecting better results. The highest frequency is love. The lowest frequency is fear. Coming down from love is love, peace, gratitude, joy, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, hope, and satisfaction. So, amongst the good feeling frequencies, or the high frequencies, or the positive frequencies, or the positive emotions, it goes from love all the way down to satisfaction. Satisfaction is the very, very basic one. It's the beginning of the good feeling emotions. Are you satisfied? Ask yourself, am I satisfied? You'll get the answer. Your subconscious will answer you. When your subconscious gives you the answer, then you know. With knowledge comes responsibility. When you know something, you're responsible to it. When you have knowledge, you're responsible to your knowledge. You cannot have knowledge and then do the same thing. You could, it will defeat its purpose. It will defeat the purpose of having the knowledge in the first place. So from love to satisfaction. On the low end, right after satisfaction going down, is worry. Are you worried? Are you worried about something you can't control? Below worry, there's irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, hate, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame, and at the very bottom, fear. If you can make someone worry, you have control over them. If someone can make you worry, they have control over you. Fear pushes people off of their life path. Why? Because it's a distraction. It's just like this thing. It's just like this one. It's a distraction. What does that do? It keeps you from fulfilling your purpose, your life path. What's your life path? You know, some people say, well, you know, I'm an electrician and that's my purpose. Okay, we need electricians. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has their value. If the rubbish man did not pick up the rubbish, in 3 weeks, you would be bowing to him. In 3 weeks, you would be worshiping the garbage man. Everyone has their value. So, when you talk about what's in here, the energy in here, because you're not your body and you're not your name. You're that energy that lives in here. And Einstein taught us, you cannot extinguish energy. So what happens to the energy? Well, the body drops. The body becomes topsoil. We all become topsoil at some point. And we all get built from things that grow in the soil. Then our energy goes. Where does it go? There is no such thing as this energy being temporary. This is eternal. Your energy is eternal. Your spirit is eternal. This is just to get you around. These are just to feed you, to pick things up, to do things. These are your instruments. The body is the temple because it houses the spirit. So where does the spirit go? Does it go get a new body? Does it go get a new host? I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to teach you quantum physics. I'm not here to do any of that. But I can tell you that the superconscious is what we refer to as God, as what we refer to as higher self, infinite intelligence. Everything in the universe is intelligent. And everything has a vibration. This has a vibration. This has a vibration. And the reason why they say the pen is mightier than the sword is because this can install a new belief, literally write a new program. If you want to look at it this way, the frontal lobe of your brain, where you process 1 million thoughts all day long, that's your operating system. The subconscious is your hard drive where the programs are installed. The superconscious is the network that we're all plugged into. We're all plugged into that network. We all belong to each other in spirit. So do we have light and dark energy in us? Yeah, sure. You can be either. You can exhibit dark behavior, light behavior, good and bad. You know, you have the angel on this shoulder, you have the devil on this shoulder, right? In the cartoons. In the old days, we had that. And the angel is telling you good things, and the devil over here is telling you bad things to do, right? And you have a choice. You have a choice. You have the ability to choose. So now, your circumstances, okay, if we look at the tree again, results. So your actions are choices. Those are your choices. Whatever you choose will have an outcome. To change the outcome, you have to change the roots. You have to change the core beliefs. The world is changing. The world is evolving. You have to evolve with it. Some people are stubborn. No, they like this way. They like doing things the good old way. And the good old ways leave. The good old ways evolve, and they get left behind. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at this radio station. I was a production director for this 3 radio stations once. And when they brought in computers, it was the first computerized system in Hawaii. When they brought in the computers, there were maybe 5 or 6 of us that were very eager to learn because we wanted to be current. We wanted to keep up. We wanted to evolve. But you should have seen some of these guys, these older guys, that were stuck in their ways. And I mean stuck. That's what I'm talking about when I say you're stuck in the physical matrix. Okay, and they were stuck. And they hated the computer. They used to swear at the computer like it had feelings, like it could understand them. They would swear at it every day. And I'm like, I know what kind of future they're going to have. And right now, those guys are way older than me. But humans are creatures of habit. We love the good old days. We love the good old things. We don't want to let it go. We want to keep it going over and over and over and over. Why is that? It's because it's in our subconscious. Those beliefs that we refuse to let go of are in our subconscious. And the subconscious learns in repetition, and it repeats for you. Because remember, it shows you proof of things, right? Good old days, yeah, here, good old days, good old days, good old days. Well, the buildings aren't there anymore. You can look online now. You can look on Instagram now and see it. You can look on Facebook and see it. You can look on YouTube and see it. You can go watch the old days. And you can still be there. And you can still enjoy your memories. And you can still stay in one fixed place. You see? Your subconscious can make you stuck. It's a subconscious activity. Your subconscious can learn to be stuck. Your subconscious can learn to be angry. Your subconscious can learn to be loving. Your subconscious can learn to be enthusiastic. Your subconscious can learn to be productive. It's just as easy to form positive habits as negative habits. One is just positive, one is just negative. One will give you good results, the other one will give you bad results. I know people that get bad results over and over and over and over. Some of them are my friends and I can't say anything because I'm their friend, you know? And I see them getting bad results all the time. And I know it's their subconscious. I can't tell them because they're my friends. I just have to enjoy them for who they are. When I put my name in a browser, I see everything that I was thinking about when I was 12 years old. And people were telling me I was foolish. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, only so-and-so can do that. Oh, only this guy could do that. Only that guy can do that. That's only good for that guy. You know, and I would say, well, what about the Wright brothers? They were inventors. You can invent something. And they would say, oh, that's the Wright brothers. That's them. That's only them. No, you're a human being. You are a human being. You can do anything. You can have, do, or be anything. Anything. It might take a little extra work. It might take some networking. You know, Hawaii is a very small little place. And we had a president of the United States graduate from high school here. Notable. We've had a lot of notable people from here. Now, how does that happen? This is a small little place, tiny little place on the map. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you are. It just matters that you have the desire and that you make the decision. That's all. The how is always God's job. Too many people get consumed with the how. Too many people try to figure out the how and they get stuck. Why do they get stuck? Because there are infinite possibilities. And because there's infinite possibilities, you will go from one possibility to the other. Maybe it's like this, 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 maybe it's like this. Are you moving? No. You're in the same place considering variables. But you're in the same place. You are stuck. You are bound in the matrix. Meanwhile, you're watching television, TV shows that portray people as being stupid, being clown-ish, right? How does that make you feel? It depends. That's another variable. That's another variable for your subconscious. Because you see it happening out there, sometimes it starts to happen in here. Because you see someone go through something out here, you think, oh, that could happen to me. And then you keep thinking it, and what happens? It happens to you. Maybe not as severe, but it happens to you. Maybe on a small scale, but it happens to you. The things you think about keep happening. If you're a Bible person, read Job. Read the book of Job. What he fears falls upon him. It's a lesson in the subconscious. In esoteric knowledge, it pertains to the subconscious. The superconscious comes from the right hemisphere of the brain. This is why Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left. The journey of Moses. The journey of Moses crossing, leading his people out of Egypt, is the crossing from the left brain to the right brain. From the left reptilian brain to the right, to the promised land. Where's the promised land? Where Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Why? That's where you get intuitive thought from. That's where you get divine guidance from. That's where you get creativity from. That's where you get imagination from the right. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, not the left. Jesus is the Son, not the Father. But he sits at the right hand of the Father. So, what prevents you from manifesting anything? Only two things: doubt and fear. That's it. That's the good news. There's only two things. Do you know the best way to curse somebody? The best way to curse somebody. Words are very powerful. Use words that will make them think. And when they think, they will believe, because a belief is a thought you keep thinking, right? So humans curse other humans all the time. Sometimes it comes from our parents. They don't know they're cursing us. They don't know that. I broke a curse in 1994. 1994, I broke a curse. You know what the curse was? I'll share it with you so you understand. One day when I was 12, I think 11, somewhere around there, intermediate school. I guess my mom was having a bad day, and she said, "You know how clumsy you are." Okay, that was a curse. Really? Why? Because I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about it. And I thought, well, she's my mom. She must be right. And I kept thinking about it. And pretty soon, guess what? I believed I was clumsy. So, we go through the years. This was when I was in intermediate school. In 1994, I had a girlfriend. And I said, well, you know, I'm so clumsy. And she said, "You are not clumsy." I said, "No, I'm clumsy." She said, "Who told you you're clumsy?" And I said, I had to think. And I go, "Oh, my mom, and she knows me. I'm clumsy." So when you say I'm clumsy, you're pronouncing it upon your subconscious, upon yourself. And when she said that, she said, "You're not clumsy." And I'm like, okay. And I had to think about it. So how was the spell broken? I had to observe myself. You know how I tell you guys need to observe, become the observer. I had to observe myself. And I observed myself for about 2 weeks to find any evidence that supports me being clumsy. So I had to ask. Ask, believe, receive, right? So I had to ask. And I was asking God, am I clumsy? Show me things that show me where I'm clumsy. Not one thing in 2 weeks. The spell was broken. Just like that. Why? Because I was asking and there was nothing there. There was no evidence there. The subconscious was not going, "Here, see this? You were clumsy here, you were clumsy here, you were clumsy here, you're clumsy here. Well, then there was this other time that you were clumsy and then over here too." No, none of it. There was nothing. And then I had to go back to her and tell her, "Yeah, you know, you're right. I'm not clumsy." And ever since then, I haven't even thought of it. Okay? A belief is a thought you keep thinking. It becomes part of your paradigm, the trunk of the tree. And then you act according to what your paradigm is, how you see the world, how you think things are. And how many paradigms do we have as human beings? Many. There is no number. There is no definite number of paradigms. You act differently with your mom. You act differently with your dad. You act differently with your children. You act differently with your friends. You act differently with your bestie. You act differently with your schoolmates. You ever see a high school reunion? You ever see a high school reunion? Everybody's back in high school, right? No matter how old they are. Why? Because their paradigm was constructed in high school. Their high school paradigm. The way they interacted with their classmates. So now at the class reunion, everybody picks up right where they left off. You see? How is that possible? It's very possible. It's your subconscious. I can't even tell you how many religious people tell me, oh no, this, they have a way of explaining this, right? They have a way of saying, well, manifestation, yeah, that's, it's evil, it's witchcraft, it's not good. And I'm like, no, it's your subconscious. You're a human being. You are the finest of all creation. Right here. You. You manifest whether you think so or not. You manifest whether you want to believe it or not. You don't have to believe in it. It's not something to believe in. It's not one of those things. You don't have to believe in it. It's going to happen anyway. What I teach my professionals to do is how to control it, how to predict it, how to make it deliver things on purpose. That's where the gold is, so to speak, right? That's when you really have it down, is when you can start bringing forth everything you want. I want this business. I want that business. I want this outfit. I want that. I want this pair of shoes. I want that pair of shoes. Start making your list of what you want. Stop thinking of what you don't want. Only think of the things you want. When I'm in a bad mood, I go on websites and I look at things I want, and it changes my mood. Sometimes I end up with too much stuff, but it changes my mood. If I'm lonely, if I'm angry, if I'm disappointed, all of those things, it cheers me up. Or I watch videos that cheer me up. Or I write my affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that what? Now that whatever you want. But think of things you want versus things you don't want. Because like Job in the book of Job, what you fear will fall upon you. Stop fearing. You have nothing to be afraid of. We never know when our time is up. It could come at any moment. I fell off my horse years and years and years ago. And the doctor wanted to drill this hole the size of a quarter in my head and drain the blood. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that, doc. I use my brain to make a living. I can't risk it. I can't risk that, But he was a brain surgeon. That was his job. So theoretically, I could go any second. And I've been living this way for years and years and years now. And it's probably gone. But I'm just saying, you never know. But when you understand that this is eternal, when you understand that your energy is eternal, and there is a separation between the body and the spirit, and that this is just the physical body, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What are you afraid of? You have absolutely nothing to be afraid of. If you're anchored in the physical matrix, if you're stuck in the physical matrix, understand that it's only physical. And understand that you are physical and spiritual. That inside the physical is the spiritual, in here. Costas has a question. Let me go back and see. Thank you, Jay. Costas has a question. Let's go all the way back. Thank you for liking the live, you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, let's answer a question. I don't see Costas' question. I'm searching. Oh, here. Great question, okay? Let's see. What's the question? I don't see his question. I see your comment, Jay, that it was a good question, but I guess my screen can't go back that far. Oh, here. Yeah. I don't see his question. Okay, just inbox me, Costas, and I'll answer your question. So, there is a separation between the body and the spirit. You are both body and spirit. But this body that you have, your body that you have, carries your spirit around. The body is the temple because the spirit is within. As above, so below, as within, so without. There are different ways to say as above, so below. On earth as it is in heaven. Where is heaven? Heaven is here. Where is hell? Well, depending on how you live your life, hell can be here too. People are tormented every day. And they bring their worries from yesterday right into today, from today right into tomorrow. And they keep living this life over and over and over and over. Why? Because they don't change the subconscious. They're not changing the core beliefs and the roots of the tree. And if you don't change that, you get the same life. You live the same life every day, day to day to day to day to day to day, until you run out of time. And one day there's no life left. And then what? Then you have lived the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Then you've been tormented by the same things over and over and over and over. We help people with military people with PTSD, veterans with PTSD. I have this veteran in West Virginia. He is amazing. I'm going to see him today. Today's Thursday. He is amazing. He has just really, really changed. Like he was this real tough guy, kind of, always held back and everything. Now he's open, he's warm, he's genuine. Doesn't have his PTSD bother him too much anymore. He can control it. When something is controllable, that means you can turn it on and turn it off. Or that means you can push it down and move forward. Push it down and move forward. Push it down and move forward. Meditation, affirmations, vocalization, visualization, the 4 pillars. Okay, so yeah, it's 7:59 right now. I have to go. I have clients all day today beginning in 1 minute at 8 o'clock. So we do this every morning at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. We'd like to cut our international feed loose right now. Yeah, take care, you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I will see you tomorrow morning.